In this video, I want to answer the question, what is a PMO? PMO stands for Project Management Office, or Program Management Office, or Portfolio Management Office, and therein lies the difficulty. PMO means different things to different people and different organisations, and the first thing we need to do is to figure out what it means to you and to your organisation. Now, for some people, these three terms, project, program or portfolio management office, all mean the same thing. And the truth is that in some organisations, the differences are slight indeed. But there are differences that arise from the difference between a project, a program and a portfolio. So we'll investigate that in a minute. But the first thing to say is that in answering the question, what is a PMO, you must look at two things. You must look at the written terms of reference of your PMO to find out what it is supposed to be doing. And you must also examine the day-to-day practices, the things that PMO staff actually do day to day, because that will tell you what your PMO is. That said, how do I define the differences and therefore the roles of the three different types of PMO? And for me, that's all about two things: timescale and ambition. A project management office has a day-to-day responsibility for supporting and the governance of short-term initiatives, typically anything from 3 months to around 2 years. The services they usually focus on tend to be collation of information, compliance and training, but sometimes they'll also provide support for project managers in the form of networking opportunities and getting the project managers together to work on good practices within the organisation. A program management office tends to support one or often more than one large initiative, a program that encompasses a number of different projects and has a span of anything from 2 to 5 years. Often programs are enterprise-wide and touch large areas of the organisation. Its focus is therefore very much about guiding the transformation and making sure it beds in well, and therefore the services that you're likely to see from a program management office tend to be around governance and coordination, making sure that the different activities coordinate together in terms of time, in terms of draw upon budgets and resources, and making sure that the release of new capabilities and new activities works well with the timing of the business and is scheduled to fit in with the different activities of the different projects and programs. Yes, to an extent there'll be support for project managers and their teams, but the assumption for a program management office is often that the project managers are highly skilled and highly experienced and will lead their teams and provide their own support for their teams. A portfolio management office is much more strategic in nature. It often thinks on the long term, anything from 3 to 5 to 10 years. Its role is about crafting a portfolio of projects and programs which will take the organisation forward during that long term. And therefore, its roles and its functions and its activities tend to be strategic in terms of identifying and selecting the right projects and programs and making sure that the infrastructure is there to support them and to see them succeed. The strategic planning and the coordination of the projects and programs is at the highest level, and therefore a portfolio management office will therefore interact directly with the highest tiers of the organisation, often with the main board. A lot of its work is therefore going to be around governance activities, coordinating the projects and programs within the portfolio, making sure each is delivering appropriately and where necessary adjusting or even culling projects and programs. In the real world, of course, we tend to find blended approaches. Whatever it's called, a project, a program, or a portfolio management office, will often have a blend of these different responsibilities. Each organisation will give its PMO the name it thinks fits it best, and the blend of responsibilities and activities it will fulfil are often driven by the needs and the preferences of the senior practitioners within the project and program management community, and by the senior managers and leaders within the organisation.